few dimensions too far.
Ah, the 3DS, the console that just keeps on living. Oh. Well, fear not, because when a console gets discontinued, the fans find a way to keep it alive. Hello everyone, this is Fawn, and this is a video I wanted to make even before I had the idea for my previous one, even though this one could be made easier and faster. My procrastination got so far that I made a poster of myself before I made this video. Anyway, yes, the 3DS and Wii U's eShop is shutting down, but the 3DS is far from dead. Aside from its huge catalog of games you can play, when you do some tweaks, you can unlock its full potential. To do this, you need to hack your 3DS by putting CFW on it. CFW stands for custom firmware, and I am not going to show you how to do that. The reason being is that I've done this a few times, and every time I've done it, the method has changed. So I would recommend against looking up video tutorials and going to 3ds.hex.guide. Okay, now before we get into all the awesome stuff you can do with a hacked 3DS, we need to address the elephant in the room. You might want to get a bigger SD card. 64 to 128 GB should be enough. 3DS games often go above 1 gig, but luckily you can find decent SD cards pretty cheap nowadays. Or if you're like me, in your junk drawer. With that out of the way, let's get into some reasons why any collector should hack their 3DS. Do you want to have your whole collection by your side, but you don't want to carry all these little carts around? Then dump your games! Silly. All you need is a customized Blu-ray drive that can read game cartridges. Don't try this at home. It's thinking. Or you just use your hacked 3DS to dump and install your game cartridges. This is actually not hard to do, and you can use the safe transfer tool or a third-party tool to transfer your saves as well. After you've installed your games, your 3DS will see them as if you've downloaded them from the eShop. This way you can keep your cartridges in great condition. Another great thing about a hacked 3DS is that it also has no region lock. That way my European 3DS can handle any region I throw at it. Psst, hey, did you see that last game there? I speak a few languages, but Japanese is not one of them. So how can I play Japanese games then? Some people are just too talented. Being able to translate a game and then patch that translation into a game, who do you think you are? Just kidding, please keep on doing what you're doing, you're amazing, thank you very much. Translation patches allow you to play that game that you couldn't understand before, but those are not the only patches out there. ROM hacks take an existing game and do something else with it, like making a hard mode, adding extra content, or reinstating assets that were censored in local versions. Like maybe your characters are naked enough. Homebrew is also great. Custom experiences made by people who want to try their hand at porting or developing for the 3DS. There are also tools that make your 3DS even better, but more on those later. All of this doesn't only work for your 3DS games, of course, but also for... And, well... Have you ever had a flashcard for your DS? The easiest way I can describe Twilight Menu++ is like having a DS flashcard installed on your 3DS. You can play your DS games with their original saves, which you can also dump with your 3DS. If you don't want to open up Twilight Menu++ every time you want to play a DS game, I mean just the name's already long enough. You can use a forwarder to put a game's icon on your home screen to then launch directly into that game. Remember when everybody thought GBA games would be neat on a virtual console? And then they made some as part of the Ambassador program, showing us the 3DS could handle GBA virtual console games, but they never did anything else with it, and they didn't even sell the ones they already released? It's like they dangled it in front of our face and said, what are you gonna do? Do it yourself? After using my trusty modified Blu-ray player, don't try this at home, to dump a GBA game on my PC, I run it through New Super Ultimate Injector, and after punching in some magic settings, I get a CIA file that I can install on my 3DS. Or you can use an emulator, but what's the fun in that? This works for any console the 3DS Virtual Console supports, no region lock, and you can even do it with some homebrew. These are just a few things you can do with custom firmware, but there are loads of apps that can make things even better. Homebrew Launcher allows you to run apps without installing them. Checkpoint lets you back up and restore your save files to your SD card, so you can save them or use them on other devices. You can also use this for cheats, but you're a gamer and you would never do that. Anemone lets you download and install themes. This way you can match your theme to your 3DS, or download one with your favorite waifu in it.
Close enough.
FTP clients are really awesome tools that let you transfer files from and to your 3DS SSD card without having to take it out. And last but definitely not least, Universal Updater, an amazing tool that lets you download a lot of other tools and keep them up to date. You know, it's always kinda sad when a console gets discontinued, but I think I was able to show you today that there's a lot of awesome people out there who will do their best to keep them alive. And one thing I haven't mentioned before are services like WeMFi? This, Pretendo Network and others, who aim to keep the online experience alive even after it officially shuts down. Now, to end this video off, I want to say that this is definitely not a tutorial. I made a big guide, but a lot of these methods tend to change, so I decided not to share it. But if you want a lightweight file to test out transferring or installing, I made a custom one that I am going to share. You can find the link in the description. Now, if you would excuse me, I'm going to play Mario Kart with all my friends who still play on their 3DS.
Here I go once more by myself. This is parody, so don't claim copyright.